Okay, everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to... You know what, let's not do the kick beam cannon this time around. Let's do the old faithful. Let's not even put on a hat. Let's pretend last patch never came out and see what happens. It'll be interesting, I think. Okay, did I say Catacomb Kids? Whoops, I meant Cavern Kings. The problem is they have the same acronym, and no matter what, for the extent of my YouTube career and or streaming career or career in general, or lifetime or whatever you want to say, I'm always just going to get the two screwed up in my head. It's going to be a perpetual problem. I'm not playing Zen-type. Oh, I need dynamic camera, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. Also, I should probably actually go in and turn on dramatic... Oh, hey. All of the settings have returned. Weird. I was playing arena mode. I mean, I guess I was playing the previous episode. Not just before this, but I'm surprised the settings reset themselves. Unless I did that manually and I didn't pay attention. I cannot imagine I did so. In any way, shape, or form willingly. I don't understand, but that's okay. Okay, so, how are we doing tonight? We're doing beautifully. Now, I'm trying to think of something. Before filming Catacomb Kids, which is part of the reason why I'm still stuck here, the question was posed, if you could live in a video game world, which video game world would you live in? And Birdcatcher trollingly said, Dark Souls. I would never live in Dark Souls. Let me think. What kind of video game world would I live in? And I really do not know. Because, like, you can't say, like, 90% of the games I play, because, like, there's no world for, like, there's no world, well, I guess there's a world for Rogue Legacy, but that, I mean, you really don't want to live in that one. You die, you're effectively just fodder, and chances are, it's just going to be all about your descendants, and not about you, which is kind of grim. I have, like, one hit point left. Oh, this is bad. I was really hoping one of these guys would have health for me. And kaboosh. That was fast. Let's just reset. Skyrim. No, I don't think I'd want to live in Skyrim. Let's see. Game which tells the story of cavity creeps. No, you would need CK. Cavity Kong. A dental gorilla. I think that would be the next one. Or just Crazy Kong. Or Calamity Kong. Really anything that's just CK. That'll screw it up right in my head. That'd be great. Actually, that'd be kind of funny if every single game we have has the exact same acronym just to save on, just to dick with people. Wow, look at that man. Wow! Since my drills don't do a whole lot of damage, they effectively just rocket these guys off forever, which is kind of glorious to watch, to say the least. There they go. It does like 2 damage too, which is absurd, but still. No CK, the game, save on marketing. I mean, that would effectively just be like a sponsorship deal more than anything else. Desktop Dreadmore, yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like games still, and then there's the whole game title thing. Oddworld Games. What is Oddworld Games? Is that actually a thing? I have no idea. Well, let's get our health back and not get totally screwed by stuff. Clark Kent. Well, yeah, Clark Kent is one. Clark Kent the game. Oh, man. That'd actually be a really amusing game to... Huh. Almost like not quite a sandbox game, but effectively, I would love to play a game that's effectively The Sims. But instead of just The Sims, you're playing as one character, and you're a superhero. And the entire premise of The Sims is... not The Sims. The entire premise of the game is you have to protect your secret identity. And continue on daily life as normal, as hard as you can. But, like, obviously, every once in a while you have to step out and come up with good excuses and stuff like that. Okay, it's a sim game. But you're a sim superhero. But there's no superheroing. Or, if there is, maybe it's like, I don't know, Chroma Squad style, where it's just like, alright, tactical and fairly basic gameplay to not complicate away from the rest of the story. Ow, that hurt a little bit. That would be fascinating. I would actually really enjoy playing a game like that, where it's just like, your entire premise is just keeping your identity safe. And, you know, maybe there are a couple of different superhero archetypes that you don't have to worry about. So one's like kind of superhuman, metahuman, alien, effectively X-Man, all sorts of things. The possibilities are endless and fascinating. I'd love to play a game like that. And like, pretty much the win-lose condition would purely be, did anybody find out your secret identity? As well as, nope, there's nothing left. That'd be interesting. Live in hatred. Starbound would be interesting. Yeah, Starbound would be great. I guess it's also one of those where it's like, there's kind of the requirement for implied life. So it's like, how much, like, universe is going on in the background as well. I'm switching between topics and stuff like that, but instead of thinking of this, like, Superman simulator game, which actually would be really cool, or Spider-Man, actually, they'd probably have very similar setups. It's just a matter of, like, your boss and stuff like that. I don't know. Yep. Wow, yeah. I kind of want to make this game now. Unfortunately, I've got, like, my plate full, and it sounds kind of complicated, so there's that, too. I'm just trying to think of, like, weird, clever games, and that actually does kind of rank fairly high. Okay, let's open this up. So this entire smorgasbord can come say hi. Ooh, look at them all die. I was kind of hoping I could get some of that stuff, but still. Oh, good night, bird. Free Tibet. Actually feel really bad for Tibet, comparatively. China's kind of mean. At least to Tibet. I don't know. I guess China's just kind of mean. But that's just true of, like, most circumstances. But that's how you get to be a world power. Ruthlessness. Or good business deals. Sort of. Well, that's an interesting point. Like, America comparatively. No, America was fairly bad along the way. It just hasn't had a long enough history to truly be, you know, comparably super bad to say, like, China. But I guess China's had a fairly short history. They've just had a very aggressively short history. I'm probably offending somebody here, so I'm going to switch the topic. Back to video game worlds that I could live in. Like, playing stuff like The Witcher, I mean, you're kind of like, oh man, it would be kind of cool to be in this universe, but then you're just like, wait a second, no. It wouldn't be cool to live in this universe, it's just cool to play in it, because it's like super glum and stuff, and you're just seeing the good parts, because you're, okay, look at all this stuff. You're just kind of, well, let's leave before you get totally wrecked by this business. Yeah, what game, like, obviously you don't want to live in a universe that has, like, some super great calamity where, like, you're just dead, pretty much, guaranteed. So I'm thinking of, Darkest Dungeon. Like, Darkest Dungeon you would not want to live in. You would have so many issues. Just so many horrible issues to deal with all the time. You wouldn't want to live in something like, well, I mean, Binding of Isaac. Maybe I should live in Binding of Isaac just so, you know, I turn into this crazy super creature and just bing, bang, boom, done. And I'm not going to use something that's like an established franchise, so I could say like, you know, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, because that would be, I mean, I guess if we want to talk lore and stuff like that, being a superhero would actually be kind of fun. Or really shitty, considering how many of them freaking die all the time for, like, stupid reasons. And then get brought back from the dead, which is also stupid. I was watching, I was reading Green Lantern Darkest Night, and I was just like, wow, this is tripe. Everybody comes back from the dead at the end of it. Yay! Not yay! That is not good. That is not good writing. That is lazy writing. Holy shit, this is messy. At least I've got iframes. At least I've got iframes and a lot of health. Perfect. Okay, now I could actually go for more iframes, but that doesn't seem super necessary. There's a lot of other stuff that's better, worth it, time-wise. Okay. This is some kind of something. Ow. But yeah, we've got those iframes, which are gonna keep us topped off a little bit better here. Mario, Street Fighter. I mean, Mario would be interesting just because it would be, like, super happy all the time. I guess if you're not going to be a real person, being something like, just being Kirby would be adorable at all times. Like, sure, you end up fighting a lot of stuff, but boy, do you also get to eat, like, all sorts of things. Which would be oh! I'll be honest, I don't feel like bats should be able to knock you around nearly as much as they do. it feels like they're just a little bit too punchy. Especially for the sheer quantity of bats in this patch. Though that'll probably get a nerf. If the squids got a nerf, the bats are going to get a nerf. Because the bats are worse than the squids, hands down, for what should be fairly obvious reasons here. Okay. What other universes are fun? What other games have I really enjoyed? I think that's kind of an easy point to make. Like, what games are really fun? For a lot of reasons. I mean, Psychonauts would be fascinating, but I mean, that's just real life, but just kind of weird and bizarro. Left and right and stuff like that. Okay, stop misusing me. Yojic, that was totally not my fault. I mean, it sort of was. Ooh. Okay, this is being a bit on the misuse side of things. We were taking some hits. We were taking some heavy hits, and we're not getting a whole lot of health here either. Oh well, we'll have to bank on the next level. Naruto Sense Ninja Arts. I mean, I guess, yeah. The Naruto universe would be fascinating. But I guess, conversely to Naruto, I would say fairy... Oh, man. Okay, so if we're gonna open up to, like, anime, manga, stuff like that, I'd probably argue that, like, the fairy tale universe is probably a little bit more fun to live in. Naruto is close, but I think fairy tale is just a little bit more like, alright, you can do whatever the hell you want. Yay! And also the Naruto universe is very wrapped up in weird bullshit. And, like... if you're the main character, I guess being a character in, like, Naruto ain't bad. Being a side character, you usually just get relegated to wherever. You would just cease existing. If you were a character... Okay, you hurt. You would just cease existing after a certain point if you existed in the Naruto universe. Because nobody would give a shit about you. Especially the writer and or artist. Depending... Okay, this is hairy. Let's just leave. Stuff like that. Yeah, One Piece. One Piece would be interesting, but One Piece is, I don't know. I guess I just don't want to be on a boat all the time. Like, I would love to be in a universe kind of... no, I don't think I'd want to be in One Piece at all. I think that would just be too much boat for my taste. I also would just be tired of running around from, like, the military and stuff like that. It's like, I'm a wanted man, but I'm grossly overpowered, so it's okay. And it's just like, I want to go home and play video games and stuff like that. And I don't get the time for that. It's sad that I only have one set of missiles here. Stuff like that. Yeah, they are on the docks a lot. I think it's just kind of one of those where it's like, I'd like a place that I could kind of go back to as, like, a permanent base. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that could. Kind of in-universe, but... I don't know. I guess for me, as far as things go, I want generally a baseline level of technology that, for example, you know, the One Piece universe really doesn't have. They kind of have, like, a thing or two, and they've got, like, fake technology, which does about the same thing. Or, like, approximate this, that, and the other things. Okay, this hurts a lot. Being underwater and getting smacked around by the squids is brutal. Just kind of hoping that I could just get a little bit of health here. Okay. These guys hurt a lot. Oh, they hurt so much. Why do they hurt? Why do they hurt so much? Oh, we've got a bunch of rock guys coming from nowhere. Thank you. I didn't actually even see them spawn in, which is disconcerting to say the least. Okay. Yeah, no, I think if we're going to open it up to, like, anime, manga, whatever, probably going to settle with Fairy Tail, just because it's, like, one of those, like, super casual ones to read. Hey! Melee attack speed. Always love it. Back to video games, though. Ratchet and Clank the Ratchet and Clank universe would actually be pretty good, too. Very, very casual, very high technology, very... I mean, the universe was kind of a little bit screwy from time to time, but I think it was screwy more than, like, screwed up and dark. But then again, I think I'd have to play more Ratchet and Clank games to actually have, like, a really good opinion on those. I really hope they actually release... Oh, wait. They're remaking it for the PS4. If they could actually have, like, a compilation game, that'd be great. Spyro would be interesting. So, Spyro would be kind of nice. I mean, Skylanders, if you want to go that direction. You'd be dirt poor because you'd have to buy character skins. No, that doesn't actually work. But still. I don't know. Whatever. There's all sorts of things left and right that you could pick. I guess I just want to live in a universe that has some level of magic and or like crazy special abilities that everybody has access too. Because, maybe it's because I'm, like, a D&D player. But, like, whenever I hear about, like, wishes or, like, you know, things that are effectively going to be too good to be true, you're always just like, alright, so what is going to screw me in this one? So, I mean, the easiest way to think of it is, like, pick out Naruto. Hey, you live in the Naruto universe. Too bad you're the shit ninja that, like, can't do anything. Too bad you're freaking... I'm trying to think of, like, the boring, uninteresting, useless ninjas. And there aren't too many of them, but that's just because they don't write about the really bad ones. But I guess, you know, the fat guy that just blows himself up. Like, he has his moments, but for the most part, he doesn't do jack, and pretty much isn't that good. Gets the tar beaten out of him. I guess just like, Side Ninja B, if anything, you know, the guy that just gets the shit kicked out of him repeatedly by, you know, this or that villain, just so there's, like, some level of stakes being raised. Or, for One Piece, you're just not a pirate, you have no powers, you can't get your hands on any of those, like, crazy OP fruits, and, you don't have, like, some weird special ability that makes you incredibly powerful. Oh, these bats suck so hard. Okay, we're just going to die if we stay here, and we're going to die if we don't. Okay, let's just get the health and flee. I really wish the bats actually could not go underground. I don't really understand how and why they do. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That said, let's just accept the money as it falls onto our faces. It's like, I don't even know what that would be. Still, let's get that health. Yeah, just a little bit. We're at half. It's not so bad. Just started playing on Epic. On Epic is a good game. I should, oh man. I should, make Birdcatcher. Yeah, let's get 3 of these. It seems a little bit unnecessary, but it's going to make me so much money. Having magnet distance and stuff like that. Let's see. Oh man, on Epic and Hammerwatch are games that I really want to do series on. Unfortunately, you need well, I guess on Epic you just need one other willing person, but Hammerwatch is boring unless you have, like, the full party going. Let's just wreck this up. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything else. Okay, I do have enough money for one more. You know what, let's do it, because it is really going to help. Yeah, wow. We've got magnets, we've got a fair magnet range. I actually wish there was, like, a faint circle when not shooting, showing your magnet range. Because that would be very appreciated here. Okay. But yeah, that's going to make us almost more money than Resplendent Vials. Just because I don't have to worry about picking it up one way or another. Okay. And we can just bring the chest with us. So I mentioned this in arena mode, but it's like potentially bringing chests with you to try and dupe up really good items. I don't think I'm going to bother with it, just because, like, I think it would make more sense later on. Right now, I need all the help I can get. Even though I think we're hitting the point where Yoji actually does baseline damage enough so he doesn't have to worry about anything. Okay. So let's see. Doesn't look like we got any boxes here. Not enough money, but that's okay. That's not really that much of a setback either. And yeah, this way, also, if there's health in various items, I don't have to come as close to picking them up. Meaning, less danger and stuff like that. Hammerwatch is fun. I was mentioning this in, I want to say it was in Vagante. I'm switching topics entirely now that, because I'm not going to come up with anything truly substantive. Oh hey, boss time. I'm not wildly prepared for this, but you know what? We'll deal. Let's see if I can blow up the level without getting blown up ourselves. I took that one straight on the face. On the everything, really. Okay, dodging is hard when you don't have, like, jumps or anything. I really do not like this boss. At least he's dying fairly quick. Unfortunately, so am I. Okay. There we go. Ah, this is brutal. Alright. Let's give it one more go, and then I think I'm going to call it quits for this. As our luck, like, we had a lot of black hole boxes, which would have been great, but we had, like, no basic durability or anything like that. And we're also slow as shit, which is really hard for that boss, because his shots are not easy to dodge otherwise. But yeah, so I mentioned this during Vagante earlier tonight, but I'm not really super stoked about the Steam sales anymore, just because I have, like, almost every single game that I could ever want. However, I'm really stoked for it, because it means that I'm going to be able to kind of either buy a couple of spare games to hand out to people like Bird, or whatever. Or Bird will just buy it for himself, considering he actually makes a hell of a lot more money than I do. So I can actually, like, play things with him. Well, not just him, but, like, multiplayer games. Because one of the biggest problems I always run into when doing, like, YouTube collabs is just nobody has everything. So, like, earlier tonight we were playing Duck Game, which is actually a lot of fun. Actually, it was a massive amount of fun. I really enjoyed playing it. But, kind of before that, we were all just sitting around being like, so, what games do we all have together? And we looked at it, and it's like, Counter-Strike, Gary's Mod, Risk of Rain. And, like, as I list all of these options off, everybody's just vetoing things left and right, and I'm just like, ah, yes, this is why we don't record together very often. Because nobody has anything or is interested in playing things with other people. Or at least various stuff. So, for example, I suggested Risk of Rain. And my general group, I mean, Bird feels sick as a result of playing Risk of Rain. Alright, easy enough to kind of discount that one. Totally understandable. The rest are just like, nah, not even at all remotely interested. Okay, apparently there's some Brawlhalla keys being passed around via Alienware. I'll have to sign up and pass it over to probably Bird. And again, I don't know, Brawlhalla would be a very good competitive game. Unfortunately, oh, please, please, please. Thank you, made it. Let's see if I can make just a little bit more money. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make enough. I'm just like $10 off. This is frustrating, to say the least, and we're probably going to just get turbo murdered here. We're not, and I think we made enough money. Thank you. Let's just not get any more turbo murdered. Okay, these books going to propel me to victory. I'm not going to be able to make any more than this, but that's okay. I can probably deal with it. Please, one of these guys better give me health. Oh, there's a little bit, if I can reach it. There we go. Okay. I kind of wish you actually had, like, a little bit more magnet distance in this game. For health pickups, especially. Okay. But, no. I think Brawlhalla would actually be a really good Catterday type game to play. I'm always leery about competitive games. I'm switching topics again. Okay, so I mentioned frequently that, I don't like competitive games that much. And the problem is, like, if you have one person that is, like, wildly better than everybody else, it's just like, this isn't fun. I prefer the kind of competitive where it's just, like, you tally your score at the end, and, you know, the person with the highest score wins. Like, that is the kind of competitive game I really like. I used to play a lot of stuff like Counter-Strike and StarCraft and League of Legends and whatnot. And I like playing all of these games when they're new, and there's no, like, meta, there's no, like, really ragey players, there's no toxicity, there's no anything. Everything is, like, beautiful and undefined, and nobody gets, like, super intense about anything. On the flip side, anything that's been, like, out for a while and people are, like, super competitive about it and angry and whatnot, I actually don't like playing. So, for example, I mentioned I was playing Duck Game with some guys. It was a fun game. It was a blast. But one of the players knew what he was doing because he had been effectively practicing by watching other people play the game. And it's like, while this is fun, suddenly it's become grossly unbalanced in favor of this other player. And, you know, when I was asking questions, he was like, you know, figure it out yourself. You know, I'm not going to tell you. And this is the player that's winning. And it's just like, well, this has become boring and frustrating and stuff. And it's like, this isn't a competition anymore. This is just you getting your, oh, thank you. This is just you getting your jollies at my own expense. Oh, please do not kill me. This level is very non-existent. Oh, get out of there before that happens. No. There we go. There's just a little bit of health, which is exactly what I need. And it's kind of one of those where it's like, I know I'm maybe a little bit too salty about this sort of thing, but it's just like, I would much rather, anytime a competitive game rolls around, everybody be on a similar scale or be the kind of competitive game where it doesn't matter. Like, I actually really like racing games, weirdly enough. I don't like speedrunners as much, for oddly. Well, no, not oddly, for a very good reason. I don't like speedrunners that... Yeah! I don't like speedrunners that much because, you know, effectively, the worse you are, the less you play, because you get eliminated really early on. So if you've got somebody, which in my case is actually me, I'm really good at speedrunners. If you've got somebody that, like, wildly outpaces everybody else as far as, like, gameplay goes, or, like, player skill goes, it's one of those where it's, like, it's not fun for anybody else. And I feel kind of bad about that. I kind of wish speedrunners, the moment you get eliminated, you can keep running as a phantom racer, and you can keep respawning over and over again. Just, you know, you can't win. You're just kind of this little background thing. You can't pick up items, you can't interact with switches, you just can run the course to try and keep up so you can actually polish your skills off. Because otherwise you're in trouble. Games like Brawlhalla, for example, damn good game, damn fun game, but if you're really good at the game, just like Smash Brothers, you're going to be able to dominate the game and generally make people unhappy to play with you. And, you know, say if you're playing with somebody that is, like, quote-unquote pro league for anything, and you try and do, like, a casual match with them, chances are it's not going to be very fun. There's a very distinct reason why I don't play, like, League of Legends or Smite, really. Because I know eventually somebody's going to be really skilled at the game, and then it's not going to be fun for the rest of us. Let's see, we're starting to do Dark Souls 2 with a guy called Rox. Some people probably know him at this point. He's been on 1 or 2 Catterdays. But so he immediately went off and played like 60-something hours of Dark Souls in the past week, and he's like, man, we need to play more Dark Souls. I'm getting really good at this game. And it's like, that's not the point. We're not supposed to be good at this game. We're supposed to be derping it really hard and having fun as a result. And he's just like, nah, you gotta beat the bosses. And it's just like, this is exactly why. This is exactly why I've no, like, interest in playing this game. What was another good example of, like, a competitive game that we picked up and somebody mastered? There are a couple of them that have, like, come and gone YouTube-wise. I know there was something about... I did it with Sebastian SB and company. Oh! I remember. I really liked Sonic Racing Transformed. I really like Sonic Racing Transformed, and in fact, that's probably going to be something I'm going to push for harder on Catterday. And I know a lot of people aren't, like, super interested in the Sonic franchise and stuff like that, but it's a really good kart racer, and it's really fun. And also, it would be a great way of doing, like, open lobby multiplayer if people wanted to join us. But so we were playing Sonic Racing Transformed, and who were we fighting? Oh, good, it's the Mech Worm. I can deal with him. Especially underwater. Like, underwater is easy peasy. But so we were playing Sonic Racing Transformed, and it was a lot of fun, and we were all fairly even. I think I was fairly good at it because I like playing the game, so I kind of played on my own. But I didn't have the DLC or anything like that, so it's just kind of like, alright, you know, this is kind of just a nice casual game to play. And then we started playing against Andrew, Keith's partner from Sad Games. And he was... Oh, that almost hurt. He started primarily and only playing as DLC characters, which have a distinct advantage over every other character in the game. And it's just like, well, this has become significantly less interesting just because here's this person that has, like, an advantage on me. Not only on player skill, because he started playing the game a bunch, but on... Hey, money shot. Ooh, that's gonna help. Distinct player advantage, because of, you know, just a base mechanic, but also, you know, just player skill and practicing too hard. And luckily that game's kind of one of those where it's like, it's not so bad. Just because, say, I'm winning, for example, doesn't mean it's going to screw over anybody else in the back. For the most part, I guess it's one of those where it's like, if you don't finish, if you're really, really far back, you get a DNF, which does kind of suck. But, like, apart from that, it's fairly functional, and, like, you don't have to worry about, you know, somebody getting left out or having no fun. What was a good example of a competitive multiplayer game? Oh, I guess Robocraft actually is kind of an interesting point on this one. I felt kind of bad about it, because, oh, Actually, not only Robocraft, mount your friends. But, like, in Robocraft, having, like, if we were ever to try and, like, organize a true versus type game, balancing would be really hard. Just because there are some people that are just, like, baseline better, like, building their stuff and things like that. Let's see. But, that one's a little bit better because you can kind of derp around on a team basis. And, like, I don't mind competitive when it's, like, us versus the world and sucking. It's us versus each other. And, like, you get somebody that's just distinctly angry at somebody else. I guess some people probably saw us play Awesomenauts. I haven't put it up on YouTube yet. But there was a distinct skill gap between myself and Bird, and then Bird and Keith, and by the end of it, Keith was very angry, because it wasn't very fun for him, and we were being hard on him for not playing well, and it's just like, I can understand both perspectives here. And it's just like, I would much rather there be more, like, really derpy cooperative games. Just, holy crap, that was a lot of eyeballs, to say the least. Okay, but yeah, us versus the world is always better, and it's more fun. But, even then, a skill gap can still result in some pretty cranky people. Let's see. So Foxy says, also think people don't want to look bad on camera, so if they're LPers, they want to practice and get good before they show people their skills. I think it kind of depends in that perspective. I think, say, I'm just going to use myself as an example. What's a good skill-based game that I do not care about people's opinion of me? I mean, Dark Souls is a good thing. Like, I've got a fair amount of skill with the game, but I'm never going to try and, like, perfect it, learn builds, anything like that. Like, I do not care about that kind of thing. But I guess I've got passable skills, so it doesn't look that bad. What am I terrible at? That I get really self-conscious over. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those where it's like, I don't mind failing. And I can see why a lot of people would want to, you know, save face or, you know, not look like a complete noob. Shell is actually like that. Oh, you know what? I wonder. So, I feel like I'm going to brag a bit here. I am going to brag a little bit here. But kind of, Birdcatcher was talking about having like a... Oh, hey Tetrine Doc, how's it going? Birdcatcher was talking about having like a baseline skill with things. And, you know, being good at stuff. So he was good at a great many different things. Art, music, whatnot. I think I just killed a dude with a key. But so, you know, he was talking about having, like, a natural skill with a lot of different things, and, you know, he's naturally gifted in this way. And, I mean, it sounded kind of egotistical, but I can understand. Comically and conversely, I'm actually extraordinarily skilled at, like, a wide variety of video games, generally without trying. So usually whenever I'm starting, like, a new game, I have a base level competency that some people don't have, so, like, getting into Awesomenauts was actually fairly smooth transition. I didn't have to worry about being, like, ultra crap. And there are games that I will be ultra crap in, by default. I mean, fighting games. I think fighting games are the game that I am truly bad at. And first-person shooters, I've been getting a hell of a lot better at first-person shooters, come to think of it. If Sniper... Well, I mean, Sniper Elite isn't exactly the best indication, but at least my accuracy's gotten better. This level is gone. But like fighting games, especially like Skullgirls, cannot play that game. Have tried very hard. But then again, it's such a skill-based game that it's one of those where it's like, I don't have the time to devote to this level of mastery. I think the more intuitive a game is, the more interested I am in playing it, because if I can just, you know, intuitively play it, have fun, and, you know, get my money out of it, then I'm okay with that. Conversely, you've got, you know, games like Cavern Kings and stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, there's a huge amount of mastery, and, like, the first couple episodes are terrible, and, like, dying left and right. Then again, this entire episode has been nothing but dying left and right and stuff like that. But, I don't know. I guess, what the kind of devil level organization is this? Either it's locked or it's not, and I can't tell. That said, we've got a lot of money, and we've got some good stuff here. I think I'm just going to pile all of my money into the black hole boxes. Let's do that now. I'd love to get more iframe things, but I've already got several of those, and 4 black hole boxes are going to make quite the difference here monetarily. And just convenience-wise. Might actually be able to get another one, but it's probably not a... yeah, 859. It's going to be a bit of a rough sell. But Maybe that's kind of why... Okay, oh, the door's already open. So I can actually leave whenever I want. Well, that's handy. Okay, you terrify children. There goes the box, but I get the money. Yes! Okay, and I get the health, too. Beautiful, beautiful. I still don't have the money for anything. Okay. Whew! That was closer than I wanted it to be. I almost might have been able to do this, but that might have been able to get that. It would have been really rough and hard to do. Instead, let's get this instead, missiles. I can deal with missiles.